Hi, welcome to the show. And today on Biz Dev Weekly, the business development show. This show was recorded on Friday, November 2nd, 2012. And on today's show, we're going to be speaking with Guy Kawasaki, the co-founder of alltop.com, an online magazine rack of popular topics on the web, and a founding partner at Garage Technology Ventures. Previously, he was the chief evangelist of Apple. Kawasaki is the author of 10 books, including Enchantment, Reality Check, The Art of the Start, Rules of Revolutionaries, How to Drive Your Competition Crazy, Selling the Dream, and The Macintosh Way. So today we're going to be talking with Guy about the whole idea of Google+. Now, Guy's come out with a new book called What the Plus. It's a guide on helping you understand and enter the world of Google's new social networking system. We're going to be trying to focus on the business aspect of Google+ and how to leverage Google as far as their new social network for business. So enjoy the show and stay tuned for Guy Kawasaki. Hi everyone, welcome to the show. Kirsten Kloss here once again. We are here in studio with Chris Hamilton, and today we are going to be talking about the book What the Plus with our very special guest, Guy Kawasaki. Well, Guy, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Chris is and I have both read the book, and typically the way it goes here is Chris leads the interview, and we have a whole series of questions here to ask you, Guy, about this wonderful book you've created that kind of summarizes Google Plus for kind of the starter, but you also get into a little bit of detail as well. Chris, what are some of your comments to lead in here?
Well, first thing I want to talk about is I am extremely sorry. I put green Post-it notes, and I've got the green screen behind me.
Totally see-through.
Guy, you probably can't see my book. I don't know if you see it there. I put Post-it notes and I write in stuff all the time just so I remind myself. But to get started on this one, obviously, as we say, this is a very laid-back atmosphere, and we talk, and it's pretty open. But we do appreciate you taking the time out to talk with us today. And it was amazing how many people asked us beforehand, "How'd you get Guy Kawasaki on the show?" And I said, we just asked. That's it, right? So we were actually really lucky. Yeah. We were really lucky.
Tickets.
So yeah, exactly. I'll get you as many Flames tickets as you want right now, Guy, if you want them.
Maybe
yeah, we'll get you some stuff for the Stampede. Hey, first thing, we were talking beforehand. If anyone was on watching, they probably heard this. But first off, I have to thank you for writing a book like this, because guys like me, I didn't understand the Google Plus aspect of things prior to, but you laid it out very, very easily. And the other thing I got to say is there's a ton of pictures in here, so it was really fast read as well. So it was actually excellent. But You've gone into a lot of good detail in here. I think the first question I really want to ask you is, why would someone want to get on to Google+? What's your take on that one?
My take on why someone would want to get on Google+ is because the aesthetics of Google+, I like the white space, the inline photos. I like the quality of comments. People seem to comment faster, more intelligently, except during political election periods. And I happen to like the diversity of people that, if you want to talk about hockey, you can find somebody to talk about hockey, or you can talk about, curling or whatever. There's a group or there's a circle for everything and everybody on Google+. And compared to Twitter, where you only have 140 characters, and Facebook, it's like, who's Facebook for your high school buddies or your college buddies or your grandma? I mean, who's it for anymore? And I guess I also don't like this thing about Facebook called EdgeRank, where even though someone has liked you or fanned you or followed you or subscribed to you, you don't really know how many people will see your posts, and I find that very disturbing. So Google Plus is.
That's interesting. You brought up about the Facebook one. I mean, that's almost, it's not censorship, maybe, if you want to call it that. But I think in the book you go into it. It's a very small percentage who actually really get to see your posts.
Yeah, they say it's about 10%, which I find absolutely bizarre. I mean, how, these people have opted in to see what you share, and yet Facebook is deciding that 9 out of 10 people should not be able to see that. I mean, just I have a hard time wrapping my mind around that. It's like if you bought season tickets for the Flames, but they only let you go to 10% of the games because they've decided that, well, you're interested in the Sharks, but you're not interested in the Rangers, so we took you out of the Rangers tickets. Of course, the analogy kind of breaks down because Facebook is free. You haven't paid for those tickets, but
absolutely. And Kirsten and I have had rants on Facebook before that I still don't get it. I always tell people that, and it's like, I'm sure I just want someone to educate me, to show me exactly what it is, right? But I can't get anyone to do it.
Maybe I'll write what.
Yeah, you know what? No, stick to this. I think you're better off on this one here. It was funny because also in the book, on page 7, you start talking about the differences between kind of the big players, the Facebook, the Twitters, the Pinterest, and each one's specific. I don't want to give away a lot of the secrets from the book or anything like that, but I think where you got down to the details was, Google Plus is very much around passions and what your passions are. Can you elaborate a little bit on your thoughts on that?
Sure. So, I'm a very clever boy, so I had to come up with the P's that refer to each service. So I say that Twitter is for perspectives, like the line at Starbucks is long, or there's an earthquake now in Santiago, or something like that. So it's about perspectives. And Facebook is about people that you went to high school with, people that you went to college with, people that you are related to. So Pinterest is about pinning, obviously. LinkedIn, because of its business development and people use it to find jobs, it's about pimping. And I would say that Google Plus is about passions. So, and the good juxtaposition is against Facebook. So at Facebook, you go because you already know people, you graduated with them, you got drunk with them, you had sex with them, whatever, right? So for Facebook, it's for pre-existing relationships. Google, or Google Plus, because it has far fewer people right now, if you went to Google Plus and search for your high school buddies, you probably won't find them. But if you go to Google Plus and you search for your passions, you will find people who you don't know who share your passions and your sensibilities. So I have a passion for photography. I don't share that passion with many people on Facebook, but on Google Plus, lots of people love photography, so I meet a whole new group of people who love photography.
So you're creating your own little communities, in essence, right? Is the best way to look at it. By the way, I think,
and I think eventually over time, your connections on Google Plus, because they are more current with your current interests, will become stronger. And with Facebook, other than perhaps your close friends and your relatives, I'm 58 years old. It's a long time since I graduated from college and high school. I don't share as much with those people anymore, right? So I share more with these new people because we have the same passions than these old people that I went to high school with, must be 50 years ago.
I often say that, the people that I really want to talk to from high school and university, I still talk to. I know how to get a hold of them. And I guess the reason why, as we were talking about, why I don't get Facebook is because I guess what happens is I just don't want to connect with the people that I had drunken sex with back in university. So there you go. So I've nailed it down. Guy, thanks a lot. You've made me figure out what it is. So I guess...
No wonder you have so many Facebook followers.
Everyone's unfriending me actually right now. They're bing, bing, bing. How does someone get started on getting onto Google Plus?
Well, besides the obvious of just getting an account, which is almost impossible to avoid if you have a Gmail account, I think the key step is you go onto Google Plus, not Google the search bar itself, but Google Plus's search, and you type in keywords for your passions. So type in hockey, type in photography, type in rodeo, type in, social media, type in food, and you'll find people. And then start commenting, start interacting, start posting to those people, start following those people. And it's developing a platform.
It's and it was interesting when you talk about that because, as I say, there's a lot of things I gleaned out of the book. I'm not going to get into everything because there's a lot of little nuggets that you put in there. But for example, I had no clue the plus someone's name, the hashtag and whatever. Like I only thought hashtags were in Twitter, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that the hashtags had anything to do with it.
No, they're actually much better in Google Plus because No, it's really a database tag. I mean, it's not something that you're just searching for the string that's dumb. This is a thing that if you click on that tag, everybody will appear who's posted about that tag. So it's much more powerful than the tag in Twitter.
The other thing too is when you get involved and you start looking at this, the circles, that was a concept I had to wrap my head around at first, and I didn't get it. And that's maybe that was part of the reason why I also tried to avoid using Google Plus originally, was because I just didn't grasp I didn't know where to put people, how to put people, how to connect, and that's the thing. What's the idea behind circles? I mean, there's some people that are going to be watching this that just don't understand Google Plus, and
okay, so the idea behind circles is that you can organize who you interact with by your own algorithm, basically. So at one level, there's 100 million people on Google Plus. So that's the public circle, if you will. That's everybody. Now, you may decide that you have colleagues from work, so that's one circle. You have relatives, that's another circle. There's your beer league hockey team, that's another circle. And then there's, people like for you had drunken sex with. That's another circle.
By the way, it is only girls in that circle. So
yeah, sure. Don't ask, don't tell. So you may decide to post a certain kind of message to the people you work with. You would post, baby pictures to your family circle. You probably wouldn't paste those baby pictures to your drunken sex circle, because lots of women will be wondering whose baby that is. So, this is how you can sort of segregate who you interact with. And also it works the other way too, where you can say, all right, I only want to see posts from my colleagues and my family, not the women that I've had drunken sex with. So you can filter it both ways, incoming and outgoing. It
was a huge smack to Facebook, wasn't it? Like they didn't see that coming at all, is what I gathered from that one too.
Now today you can do that with Facebook. It's just that I don't think anybody does it with Facebook, because from the very start of Facebook, it was always about blasting stuff out, and from the very start of Google Plus, it was about selectively blasting stuff out. So it's just not in the DNA of Facebook.
Kirsten and I were talking just prior to is what was their first attempt at the social media site that they killed?
Buzz.
That's what it was.
I was trying to remember. It was so unremarkable that I forgot the name.
But
yeah, well, in a sense, to use a Macintosh analogy, Buzz is to Google Plus what Lisa is.
Wow. But Lisa at least came from creativity, I think. I don't know. That's
no,
you
know what? They learn from their mistakes is what it comes down to, and we all do, right? So and so hats off to them for being persistent and coming back. And of course, I mean, they're in business to make money, and they had to crack this nut somehow. And obviously, always combat. You're trying to combat that sort of that public impression that Google is a ghost town, but really it's not. In the sense that people are in niche areas of specialty. It doesn't mean that everybody's everyone to everybody.
So you hear from these so-called social media expert bloggers, and every once in a while they blog about how Google Plus is a ghost town. And then if you look at their profile, you see that they have not circled very many people, and not many people have circled them. So the analogy I like to use is, at Facebook, you go to a party. The Facebook party is all your high school buddies, your college buddies, your friends, your family, right? So you go to that party, you have a great time. You know everybody. Now, obviously, there are some people in your past that you might not want to hang out with, but they're all at that party. It's an easy party to go to. The Google Plus party is a completely different party. At the Google Plus party, you don't know anybody. But at the Google Plus party, there are people who you don't know, but you and they are both interested in the same thing, and so they're very interesting. So you can go to two parties. Facebook party, people you already know, easy. Or you can go to the Google Plus party, people you don't know, but people who are hot and sexy and share your interests. So now the people who say that Google Plus is a ghost town, they're basically saying, I went to this party full of hot, interesting people, and I didn't have a good time. It's the party's fault. I would make the case. Yeah. You're a loser. It's your fault.
Well, it's kind of an online meetup then, in some senses.
M-E-E-T or
M-E-E-T. No pun intended.
Okay.
Classic. Hey, one of the things you get into, chapter 4, is talking about your profile, and you call it the vanity plate, right? Is this is the moment to shine, which is your outside appearance to the world, I guess, is the best way to look at it, right?
Yep.
What are some of the tips and tricks that people should be looking at creating a decent profile that would capture attention?
Well, I think the most important tip about a profile, by far, is that you have to have a good profile picture. And this profile picture should focus on your face, not your dog, not your car, not the sunset, not you in a group of 10 people. This is sort of your portrait. And you should get a good one. It shouldn't be out of focus, shouldn't be red eye, should be well lit. I mean, this is it. The analogy I like to use for a profile is there's two kinds of online dating sites. There's eHarmony, where you fill out, 29 questions about your personal interests in life and whether you want kids or not, all that kind of stuff, because you're trying to find your soulmate. And then there's Hot or Not. At Hot or Not, people look at the picture and they decide, you're hot, you're not. That's it, right? So the profile in social media is hot or not. People are going to look at that, and in 1 second, they're going to decide worth interacting with or not worth.
By the way, everything you said not to do, I'm looking at my picture and I've actually done. So
I'm not going to bring yours up, Chris. I brought up guys. I'm not going to bring up yours.
I swear, it's red eye, out of focus. By the way, I was probably about 7 years old too.
And the original, I think you had one a while ago where you actually had your either a book or something in front of your eyes.
It was from Enchant, his last book.
Yeah. So, wait, I'm coming back. So this is my previous book.
There it is,
Enchantment. And this is that butterfly from Enchantment. So my previous profile was sort of like this.
Yes, that was it. That was the interesting shot.
I wanted to push the butterfly.
Yeah. Well, see, the unfortunate part is you can't hold the Google one up, because then Google will want royalties from you or something like that, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, and it's being interesting, and in your book you also mention, in photographs, it's very important is the subject that you're focusing on, and to kind of cut out all the stuff around. And you mention also in the book that you post a photo with every single blog post, or you try to at least. And explain a little bit about the importance of that, and how do you deal with video in the same situation?
Well, with video, typically it's YouTube, so when you embed the video, there is that first frame, right? And people want to look at it in line. They don't want to necessarily click on the YouTube link and go to YouTube. They'd rather just watch it there, so that's fine. I believe that every post should have eye candy, and that eye candy is either photo or embedded video, because I have noticed that when you post regular text, you get far fewer shares and comments and plus ones. And it's because most people do what I do, which is post pictures and videos. So, it's a graphic world. And so if you don't do that, you get a lot less interaction.
Now, is that because there's a lot of men on Facebook and we're very visual, or does this apply to women as well?
I don't know.
Yeah, dumb it down. Hold on, let me hit him in the head for a second. Whack. The other part you go into, and one thing that Kirsten mentioned as he and I were talking earlier on, and when I was we both have kids go to the same school, but we talked to each other in the morning driving the kids to school, was a lot of this book is also around building trust with individuals. I mean, that's a huge element of what it is, and you do go into that a lot in, I believe, chapter 5. Why do you deem it critical to build trust with people? I mean, it's a stupid question, I think, but it's people need answers.
Well, because if you want a social media network to work and have good interaction and valuable interaction and reciprocating interaction and interaction that means something, as opposed to the line at Starbucks is long or I just got drunk. If you want to derive value from social media, you have to be likable and trustworthy. And so I dedicate a fair amount of the book to how you become likable and trustworthy in a digital way. It's very important if you want to optimize your social
You
media
do
experience.
actually. I'm just trying to flip to the section here because I think it's very valuable information that you go through. I'm not going to list all of it off because I want people to get your book from you. But I mean, it really is. It really positions it very well as to how you want to do that sort of stuff.
Thank you.
And you know what, we're big fans of Brogan and guys like that do trust agents and everything like that.
Yeah.
And of course your last book too, very much around that. And anyone that's online, it's about building the trust and also being, basically not being a scumbag, I guess is another way to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The commenting. Now here's so I have you in one of my circles, and it seems to me, I was talking to you about this before,
Yeah.
it's like, I truly believe, I'm surprised your wife hasn't divorced you by now, because the fact is, I think you do this 24/7. I see you on there all the time, right? So, and you got 4 kids. Do you have 4 kids, wife, and a dog or something like that? How do you squeeze all this in?
Well, one kid is in college. One kid is a junior who's playing football right now, so he's busy with football, and he just comes home and, eats and goes into his room and does homework, or at least I hope that's what he's doing. And one kid is 7 years old, so he's asleep at 7:30, and the other one is 11. And that's my daughter. She's the jewel of my treasure chest. So, but the honest answer, well, I have a great wife, is that the way I've succeeded in life is that I outwork people. I don't consider myself smarter than most people, certainly not more visionary than most people. I just am willing to work. So, to use a hockey analogy, some people are just willing to forecheck and backcheck, right? And others aren't. I just work.
You know what? I absolutely understand that and appreciate that because, I'm not trying to be egocentric here, but I do a ton of that too. People ask me, I see you everywhere, and it's like, it's because I attempt to be seen everywhere, right? That's the only way you get found, I guess. So it is. I guess you have to go that extra effort and stuff like that.
And you.
Funny how that works. Huh?
And you mentioned too that in the book about how you did like to write. Obviously, you write books, but the idea of blogging, it takes up a lot of time. And in the book, you kind of mention the power of being a curator as opposed to being necessarily only an author.
Yeah.
Maybe blending the two together.
I don't blog at all anymore. I blogged really well for our first 3 years because I had a lot to say and I could recycle a lot. But after 3 years, I didn't have any more original ideas. So now I view myself as a curator. And the way I curate is to use a site that I actually co-founded called AllTop, where we aggregate news by topics. So every night I look for interesting stuff to post the next day. And I view my value as being a good filter of what's interesting as opposed to a creator of content.
Well, what's the whole idea of blogging and the combination of blogging and social media, is Google Plus kind of leaning towards the replacement of the blog? Do you see that potentially?
Yeah, I think so. If someone were asking me today, let's say I'm writing another book called Ape, which is how to be a self-published author. And if someone were to say to me today, I realize I need a platform. Should I write a blog? I would say no. I would say that instead of writing a blog where you have to drive people to you and you have to figure out WordPress and you have to put in like buttons and figure out share buttons and commenting and spam killing and how do I get rid of people and all this kind of stuff when you start a blog, you should just do your blog on Google Plus. That whatever you would have blogged, put it on Google Plus, because it has such advantages in terms of the infrastructure, the sharing, the organic traffic. It's so much easier to do it on Google Plus than to start a standalone blog.
And you are a strong believer in the kind of the syndication of your information from Google Plus outward onto other networks, or do you?
I am not paranoid at all. Basically, if somebody wants to use my stuff, I'd appreciate if they attribute it to me, but just let it rip. I mean, in one sense, this is called GRM, Guys Rights Management. In one sense, I can't stop you anyway. So I'm not under that illusion. And in another sense, this is a high quality problem. Too many people want to copy me. I can think of a lot worse things, like you suck and nobody wants to read what you write. So that's
it's flattering.
GRM.
Actually, Kirsten and I had some guy who ripped one of our videos, a segment from our video, and started promoting it all over the place. It's like, what? I have zero concern about that whatsoever. It's like, what? You're actually doing me a favor. And not only that, I think it's a huge compliment to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to give people credit that they know what to steal, right?
I'm glad. Hey, at least they were looking at my stuff, right? That's the other side of it.
Yep. And I think I worded it incorrectly, because my thought was more about your syndication of your information through existing social networks, like taking your stream from Google Plus and syndicating it through your Facebook account and tweeting about it and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah.
You should just send it out everywhere you possibly can. Absolutely.
Part of the stuff in sharing posts, I guess it's all about karma too, right? I mean, it's that old what goes around comes around, and it's all it's all good for you and stuff like that. Hey, part of the other thing too is that I found intriguing in the sharing posts section though was including an email, so that someone can actually, if they're not on Google Plus, you can actually include them in the conversation. Right. And like you say, it's Google's sneaky way of getting more people, I think, is to get them on board. Correct?
Yeah. I kind of live an open book. I give out. If you get an email from me, obviously you got my email address. I even have my cell phone number in my email signature, and people are like, they're just amazed that I would do that, but nobody ever calls it. I mean, literally, nobody ever calls it.
Hold on, I got your email. I'm going to call you right now, actually, if you don't mind. We're going to put it up on this. No, we won't put it up on the screen. The one thing I also got out of this, like, once again, as I say, you put little tidbits of information in there. So it's number 6 is an amazing little section of how-tos on sharing posts, but also scheduling posts. That was the biggest thing that I had a conundrum with, because I used to wake up in the morning and I would, since I read a daily sales and marketing blog, I would send stuff out, and it has to be determined. But the one thing I found with Twitter is I make the 140 characters or 120 characters and schedule it through Hootsuite throughout the day. But how can people schedule their posts throughout the day? What's a little tool that you recommend?
So first of all, people might wonder why you should schedule your posts, and the answer is that people around the world are up at different times, and so if you post at 2 a.m. Calgary time, there's not a lot of people in California up yet. So, on the other hand, you may be in Germany or something, and so you want to post at German time, but you realize your readership are 9 hours difference. So I have to admit that Facebook and Twitter is better for scheduling posts, because they have documented APIs so that you can write directly to it without having to wake up 9 hours apart. So there is a tool called called DoShare, DOSHARE, and it's a Chrome extension, and this is one thing that lets you schedule Google Plus posts in advance. So I use it all the time. You have to have your computer on and Chrome running, however, for it to work. In an ideal situation, you would schedule this post, it would be scheduled into the cloud, and then it would just run later. But that's not the case. You have to have Chrome and this. And
I sniff a business opportunity.
Yeah. Well, it's up to Google to open up that API. True.
Google does control the world, by the way. I think everyone understands that now. The one thing that I also loved, I love everyone's books, right? I say this about everything, about everyone's books. They're always awesome. But anytime you get information, it's great. 6A, which was how to optimize for social search. And I didn't quite get it till I started reading it. And I'm like going, holy crap, this is powerful. Like the fact that you kind of talk about the venture capital and if you were someone who was in venture capital, you would try to get yourself known as quick as possible, get in as many circles, and also write as much as you can on venture capital, because all of a sudden, lo and behold, you start showing up in what? Oh, the Google search is on the first page, right?
Yeah, that's a very thing.
To me, that is very powerful, especially if I look at it. A lot of people that watch our show are from sales and marketing standpoint, right? Is if they want to get found on their stuff, that's one of the best approaches you can take for that. Is that not correct?
Well, that's finally SEO that makes sense, right?
Yeah, as opposed to paying $200 a month to send someone in India and you don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah, right. Who's not doing anything?
If we're close to the end here, I just one question. Pat Lore actually asked a question. He goes, "What's your opinion of Calgary in Canada?" So he wanted to know. So.
Oh, I love Calgary. You know, my buddy is Ken King. He's the president of the Flames. I've met Jerome McGinley. I love Calgary. First of all, I love Canada. I love Canada. I love hockey. I play hockey 4 or 5 times a week. I'm basically a Canadian stuck in a Hawaiian body. I think hockey is just the greatest sport. And then I saw that movie, that Ben Affleck movie about how you guys protected those 6 Americans during the Iranian hostage.
Yeah, he got it wrong, by the way.
Man alive,
he got it wrong.
Huh?
Oh, it was good, but you know what? They fabricated a bit at the end there, right? There was a lot more involvement by the Canadians on that. You know. I won't get into that with you, though.
We do have a couple questions.
Okay, yeah, I realized they probably weren't trying to catch the airplane and shoot it down and all that, but still, you know, Canada really stepped up.
It was, you know what? I agree. My parents were actually down in California when the day that was the news was released, and they were in a bar in Sonoma, or it was Sonoma County or whatever it was, somewhere down there, and they said so many people were buying them drinks that night because they were so appreciative of the Canadians doing that for the Americans.
Yeah, Canadians stepped up, man. The New Zealanders didn't step up. The Brits didn't step up. Freaking Canada stepped up. You know,
we have to. You know, we're your redheaded stepchild, right? So that's the way it looks. Hey, Guy, do you have a couple seconds for a couple of viewer questions?
Yeah. I mean,
okay,
sure, because he's got to go play hockey.
Here's the first. Here's the one question. Any tips on leveraging Google Hangouts? And this comes from Marty.
Well, I mean, we're doing a Google Hangout, so Google Hangout. I mean. Like it's easy to do. You can have 9 or 10 or 9 people in it. It's free. It's automatically archived to YouTube. Every day, the LA Times and all these athletes and stuff, they're always doing this Google Plus thing. Hangout. I think Hangouts is the killer app of Google Plus right now. So to use another Macintosh analogy, Hangouts is to Google Plus what Aldous PageMaker was to Macintosh. I mean, it's a huge deal.
Well, I tell you what, we got to be cognizant of the guy's time because he does want to play hockey. So, you know what, Guy? Hey, we truly appreciate you taking the time out to talk with us today. And once again, we're just going to hold the book up. And anyone who's interested, Google Plus.
Google Plus.
For the rest of us.
What the Plus. Check it out.
Plus.
Thanks, everyone, for joining. Guy, thank you very much for your time. And we'll be following you on Google Plus.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Thanks, Guy.